Hello and welcome to another amazing episode of Badman Reviews. And this week we're reviewing a game that came out just this Tuesday called The Division. And you guys know I have been looking forward to this game for a long time, ever since it was announced at E3, and it feels great to finally have it in my hands. Jokingly though, because I actually bought a digital copy, so I don't have it physically in my hands, but you know what I mean. And I'm fairly interested to see what this game is like. So, you guys have come to the right place. I've put a lot of time into this game to give you all a great review. So, let's check it out and see if it's a great game or a sham like Destiny was on release. Starting off, to give you guys the best review I possibly could, I sat down with The Division and played the crap out of it. 31 hours of in-game time to be exact, and that was to beat every single possible mission in the game and reach max level, meaning that if you are a normal person unlike me, there is plenty for you to do in the game to keep yourself busy for a long time. Plus, I haven't even touched the daily missions, hard mode, or challenge mode for the main missions, or gone into the PvP area known as the Dark Zone, so I still have plenty more to play through. Plus, with Incursions, this game's version of a raid coming in a free update in April, an update in May changing the PvP area a bit and adding another incursion for free, plus more free updates to come, we have a lot to look forward to as well. But instead of rambling on about the future of the game, let's take a look at what the game plays like as of now, because that's what you're all interested in. The Division starts you off surprisingly not in Manhattan, but in Brooklyn as a tutorial mission to get your bearings on how the game will play out, and after a few missions, teaching you how to play, use the map, and how missions work, you're shipped off to Manhattan and told to build your base of operations. Once saving this base and getting set up, you'll learn that this base is how you will come to upgrade your character. There are 3 sections to your base, including medical, tech, and security. Finishing 3 main quests will activate these parts of your base, allowing you to upgrade them and gain new abilities, perks, and special areas in your base. This in itself adds a new aspect that I really enjoyed, and it's something Destiny could have benefited from. Though to be truthful, this isn't the first game to have something like this, seeing as Warframe has had something along the lines of this for a little while now. But Division takes it and gives it its own spin on things, and as you upgrade your base, you can really see it change. New areas open up, more people can be found around, and new vendors will open shop. It's a gameplay development that I really enjoyed. After you have finished up in your base of operations though, it's time to move on to exploring the world and doing missions, which you will find there are 3 different types of: main, side, and encounters. Main missions are your standard missions that will progress the story. Side quests are missions that you can pick up from special vendors and safe houses around Manhattan, and encounters are random missions you will find around the town that are a bit more basic than your other missions. Completing these missions will net you points to upgrade your base, alongside blueprints, weapons, money, and experience, so taking your time to do all of them is a good plan. The encounters after a while do get repetitive though, seeing as they are all generic missions that are reused in different scenarios, which include guarding resources for a while, turning water pumps back on, searching a quarantine area for samples of the virus to upload, retrieving stolen gear, taking down a stronghold, defeating a boss, and a few others that I can't think of at the moment. The encounters reuse all of these events multiple times, but truthfully, most of them are actually different enough that you won't find yourself getting too bored of them, even in late game activities. Though the lines that get used by enemies may get on your nerves. For example, when you have to turn the water pumps back on, you will always hear the same quote at the start of the mission. And sometimes when you kill someone, another enemy will say how you killed Mike. And I think I may have killed at least 100 Mikes through my playthrough. Moving forward though, the side missions are their own missions with a basic story behind it, and use the same events as the encounters, but they do add a spin on them and usually add multiple events together to keep things fresh and different, and then still adds in something original here and there to make things fresh. While the main missions are obviously built from the ground up and feel different than anything else in the game, with all of them being really fun and entertaining, including special encounters, special bosses, and more. And on top of that, the story is actually very interesting, with it starting off a bit slow and boring, but as you progress gets much more in depth and interesting, having me always want to get to the next mission to figure out what happens next. And even though at the end everything gets pretty well wrapped up, there is still a few loose chains that aren't answered to obviously expand on with expansions as the game grows in time. But let's talk a bit about the gameplay. From shooting things to collecting items, there is plenty to do. Gunplay in FPS games is always very important, and it was something that Destiny did really well, and The Division also hits the ball out of the park. Shooting any kind of gun always feels great and responsive, and each different type of gun has its own feel that works very well. I myself am an assault rifle and shotgun kind of man, but there are plenty of other guns that also work very well, with all the weapon types being well balanced, like SMGs, snipers, and LMGs. And when it comes to the loot system, Division does it very well and hits it home in all of the places Destiny failed. Plenty of chests and cabinets to loot throughout the game, often giving you ammo but also giving you new weapons and gear sometimes, which is great. Destiny always felt barren with only a few chests that never had anything good in them, making any chest you found a real disappointment. Beating a mission in the Division and finding a chest at the end of the mission with some new sweet gear in it is great, especially after also getting some cool new gear that dropped from the boss you just killed. It makes everything feel worth it, and you're always rewarded for the work you do. Each piece of gear also has special stats, and as you get to the higher tiers of weapons and wear, you can add mods to your gear and weapons, and some weapons even have special attributes that unlock if you have the right requirements met, meaning that your DPS, health, or energy stats are high enough for the ability to activate. As you play and upgrade your base, you will also unlock perks and abilities that vary from riot shields, noob tubes, health stations, and turrets that you can throw down on the field to help you in your time of need. Plus, on top of that, you can have perks that boost specific stats under circumstances. And if you wish to obtain the best gear in the game, there are a few ways to reach that goal. Entering the Dark Zone will give you a good chance of finding high-level enemies that have a good chance of dropping high-level gear for you to use, but also puts you at risk of being taken down by another player before being able to extract your gear. But don't worry, if PvP isn't your thing, there are some other ways to obtain high-level gear. Hard missions and challenge missions have a chance to drop some good gear or blueprints for high-level gear. Blueprints are items you receive that you can use to craft new items, from standard green items all the way up to your high-end gold items. To craft gear, you'll need a certain amount of material that you can find in chests around the city or obtain from scrapping your own gear instead of selling it. And if you wish, there are also some vendors in your base who will sell you some high-level gear, but be warned, these can start getting pretty expensive, and some even cost Phoenix credits, a special endgame currency found from high-level bosses or from completing dailies. And the best part is you aren't locked to a specific set of gear to be the highest level like it was in Destiny. You can be your own person with your own playstyle, which is great. There are a few things about Division that bug me though, don't get me wrong. It's just, a lot of them are nitpicky, like when comparing two weapons, it shows the stats of the mods you have on your gun, meaning that you aren't comparing them at a balanced level. So if you want to actually compare two guns, you need to take all of your mods off, then compare, choose which one you want to use, and then re-equip all of your mods. Another thing is you are able to take lower level crafting material and convert it to higher level materials, but there's no fast way to do this. By the end of the game, I had over 200 green materials of each type, and to convert them it cost 5 green to make a blue. So to do this, I had to press and hold A to make 1 blue, then after it was done making the piece, press B and repeat until I was all out of green materials. So a convert all button may be helpful in the future. The other thing that bugged me was that they stated that some story missions would bring you into the Dark Zone, which I found really cool, having to do some story stuff in a PvP area. But it seems like the idea was scrapped since I never once had to enter the Dark Zone for a quest, besides the one mission that introduces you to the Dark Zone, and you just have to walk into the area and the mission's done. But the biggest issue from my point of view is the graphics. In-game, they look stunning and are very well done, with plenty of environmental features from snowstorms to dogs pooping on the street in front of you. It's a very immersive game, but once you jump into the cutscenes, it's like I'm playing my PS2 all over again. A lot of the characters' faces and cutscenes just look horrific at times, plus a lot of assets like people and hallways get reused, which really drags you out of that immersive feel, which sucks. Besides that, most of my complaints are nitpicks that can be patched later on and don't hinder the gameplay too much at this point. On launch, there were some issues with the server, especially on PC, but I myself on Xbox One was able to do a 24-hour stream and only disconnect maybe 4 or 5 times in the period, so for a launch I think it was pretty successful. Plus, if you're interested enough in the game, there are 3 DLCs already planned for June, summer, and winter this year. And I know people hate the thought of DLC, and maybe it should have been included in the game, but really, I myself am excited for them and can't wait to see where this game goes. Overall, The Division is a fantastic MMO shooter, and I think any shooter fan will enjoy it. It's definitely going the right direction, and seeing Massive pushing out updates and fixes quickly when an issue arises is a great show of what quality we can expect in the future. I really hope that this video helped someone out there decide whether or not if they wanted to buy this game, especially since I know there's a lot of doubt going around right now, especially with how the release of Destiny turned out. But I for one think that this game is fantastic, and it's great to have another game in this genre, especially one that's not about aliens or space. So, if you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and until the next time, I'll see you all in the next video. I just have to give a huge shout out to my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, I would not be making the content I am right now. So a big thanks to Rob LaLiberty, Brad Moore, Andre Drulard, Thomas Bethel, Robert Velasco, Dominic Sharma, Martin Scutt, Maxim Lufkin, and the YouTuber Legend Gary.